Okay, I'll call this meeting to order.
Glenn, we lost you. We can't hear you.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Thank you. So we're in roll call. Christy?
Here.
Jason?
Glenn, we lost you. Can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, it's the live stream, yes.
Okay. Christy? Crystal?
Here.
Ricardo?
Here.
Heidi?
Here.
Chair's here. We have a
Is
quorum.
somebody's computer? The live stream?
Not on mine. I'm not on my stream.
If you guys would all join me for a flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ginger, could you let me share my screen, please?
You're a host, you should be able to, hang on a second. Why you're not able to. Okay, do it.
Thank you.
Where approval of the agenda got added on here, but I'm going to add that on as a normal course of business. So the agenda is presented with one notation. The executive session will cover a slightly different topic.
Yeah, bargaining.
Okay. So with that notation, as presented with that notation on the executive session. So if I could have a motion to approve our agenda.
I'll make a motion that we approve the agenda with the change of the executive being bargaining.
Second. Give it to me.
There's that. Ricardo seconds. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. Bill?
Aye.
Christy?
Aye.
Call it
Aye.
Ricardo?
Aye.
Heidi?
Aye.
Chair votes for. Our agenda is as approved, or is approved as presented. First order of business is board communication. June is Pride Month. I'd like to read out a statement. North Branch School Board would like to acknowledge that June is Pride Month and recognize the harassment and persecution faced by LGBTQ Americans throughout American history, and to commit to make North Branch School District a place that is welcoming to all students and families regardless of sexual orientation and identity, and to recognize the work that remains to be done to that end. I'm going to take a moment. I have two acknowledgements that I wanted to call out here. The first one is Deanne and her staff. She didn't do it alone, but she put on a excellent graduation ceremony. I don't know if anybody got to see it on. It was a great event.
Mm-hmm.
Given what we've been through, it was a really, really good end to the school year for a class that's faced a lot of challenges. So I just wanted to call her out and her team. She didn't do it alone, but she orchestrated that and she did a really good job. So I just wanted to call her out. The other one is
Ruby Contreras.
Ruby Contreras. She, at no cost to the district, she donated her time to come and translate for the bilingual portion of the commencement. And I just wanted to call her out because she was just Johnny on the spot. We made changes right at the last minute, and she was right there and just did a great job. And very much fit into our equity and being able to have a lot of our parents and grandparents be able to clearly understand what was happening during that commencement. So I just wanted to call her out and give her sort of a shout out on here. So I appreciate that. OD State Education updates and OSBA updates. Hopefully you will have gathered through some of that. I honestly have not been through them lately. Too many things going. Moving on to the annual report on healthy and safe schools. Did you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, let's see if,
Other than what we have for reading?
no, I wanted to see if Dave Schultz is here, in case you had any questions. You may not have been able to make it. No, so there's nothing beyond.
Okay.
what's written.
Okay. Moving right along to our consent agenda. You guys have had a chance to look through the items that are contained in that. I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we accept the consent agenda as presented.
I'll second.
Motion by Crystal, second by Bill. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. Bill?
Aye.
Christie?
Aye.
Crystal?
Aye.
Ricardo?
Aye.
Heidi?
Aye.
Chair votes for. Motion carries. Business bond and budget appropriations report. Is that right?
Yep.
Yes, okay, yes, yep.
Yes, yes, yes.
I provided the information in the packet. I don't know. There's a lot of echoing. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
We can hear you very clearly.
Okay. So I provided the information in the packet. My ending fund balance is as close as I can get, as I say, every year. There's a lot of unknowns, how much we'll pay out for sub costs, how much we'll pay out for personal leave, and those sorts of things. You never can get it exact, but I think it's close. It's a little below what I said I budgeted, but I do believe we'll gain something back when we get to the end where maybe some funds we need to spend, we could move a little over. So we'll see how close I come. Any questions on my information? The bond information, we're really moving along. I got a call from the county who apologized that they had missed, that we had made a payment May 26th for the very last little permit we needed for $33.63. And they noticed after they called me that, oh, we should have issued this May 26th. So hopefully we're getting that final little piece done, and we'll be able to have all of our permits done. So that's all for me. No sound again, everyone.
Sorry, I had muted it, so there would be no echo for you. Can you hear us now?
All righty, moving on to our annual procedural business. We have several items to work through here. The first is to elect a chairman for 21-22. Entertain motions for.
I would like to nominate Glenn Holum. Nominate, didn't I say that?
That's correct.
You did, you're perfect, yep.
I would like to nominate Glenn Holum to serve as board chair.
I'll second.
I would accept that nomination if that's what the board wants. Effectively. We have to do this by roll call vote, don't we?
Yeah.
Because we're on that. Is there any discussion on the nomination? Beyond that, hearing none, we can move to a vote on that. An affirmative, it'd just be like a motion, so affirmative will be a yay vote. So Bill?
Aye.
Christie?
Aye.
Crystal?
Aye.
Ricardo?
Aye.
Heidi?
Aye.
Chair abstains. Motion carries. Thank you very much. Thank you for your trust. I don't fail you.
Thank you for your willingness.
Yeah.
Second item is to elect a vice chair.
I'd like to nominate Heidi as vice chair for the next year.
I will second.
And you accept.
I accept, yes, thank you.
Are there any other nominations? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. Bill?
Aye.
Christie?
Aye.
Crystal?
Aye.
Ricardo?
Aye.
Heidi?
I'll abstain.
Chair votes for. Welcome aboard again. Thank you for agreeing to do it again. I know you've been in various positions around this table, so. So
The Fidelity Bonds.
Fidelity Bonds. Which is,
They're up on the screen.
100,000, right? So same as usual. Is that still okay for staff?
Linda, do you have anything to add to this?
No, these are normal amounts for districts, even larger than ours, but districts our size.
I'll make a motion to approve the Fidelity bond amounts as presented.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Heidi was second on that for Diane. Is there any discussion?
I do have a quick question.
Sure.
That means anything over 100,000 will be brought to us, right? I'm thinking of a topic for later this month. Right? Okay,
I'm sorry, I can't.
okay.
We're just confirming that anything over $100,000 is brought to the board.
Well, like, yes and no. So we already have like a transportation contract and those monthly payments would be more than 100,000. So no, that wouldn't be brought to the board because it's already budgeted. Something new would be looked at,
Anything new?
other than the bond where we had the information about 500,000, I think, for bond stuff.
That's also-
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. Any more discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. Bill?
Aye.
Christie?
Aye.
Crystal?
Aye.
Ricardo?
Aye.
Heidi?
Aye.
Chair votes for.
Authorization events.
Yes. So designation authorizations for 2021, 2022.
Nope.
I think they're part of that first,
Yeah,
yeah, they were part
yeah,
of that first
part of
graphic.
it,
However, we need to deal with these each as a motion,
Yeah.
correct?
Really?
Well, that you're accepting,
I was thinking we
This
could
is-
just do one.
go ahead, Diane.
Thank you. Yeah, this is just requires one motion. It's an annual.
Yeah, that's the document we're looking for. Annual procedural business, right?
Can you open that, Linda, please? There it is.
Yeah, I'm thinking we can do 1 to 8, right?
Yes, because this one is the,
Is the next item.
yeah. Okay.
Is that section D, Linda? I can't see. Can you scroll up just one more line? Yep. So I'll make a motion that we accept sections D1 to D8 as presented in the procedural list document.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. Bill,
Aye.
Christie,
Aye.
Crystal,
Aye.
Ricardo,
Aye.
Heidi,
Aye.
chair votes for. That completes all of part 5A, I believe.
Nope,
We got-
We have,
You have two more.
board meetings scheduled.
Yeah.
A5 and A6.
Okay, I thought you had that. I thought you
No,
were
I
stepping
cut it
down.
off because they were next. That's
Because
why-
they were the
that's
next,
why I
okay,
specifically
okay,
targeted.
okay.
Right. So I'll move we accept the proposed budget calendar for fiscal year 2022, 2023 as presented. Second from Ricardo.
Second from Ricardo for Diane. Sorry, she's gonna- Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. Bill,
Aye.
Christie,
Aye.
Crystal,
Aye.
Ricardo,
Aye.
Heidi,
Aye.
chair votes for, motion carries. And our last one would be
Board meetings.
monthly board business meetings, time and place.
Board meeting schedule. Yep, there it is. No meetings in July. December. As So I'll make a motion, we adopt the proposed board meeting schedule for year 2021, 2022 as presented.
I'll second. Crystal?
Thank you. Motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we will move to a vote. Bill?
I feel odd voting aye for this, but aye.
Christie?
Aye.
Crystal?
Aye.
Ricardo?
Aye.
Heidi?
Aye.
And chair votes for. Just a point of order, I wanted to make sure that Jason is not on this, so I'm not missing him.
No, I haven't seen the numbers change. I'll double check.
Nope, okay. I just don't want. All right, moving along to B. The acceptance of the special district election certified results. We can do that by motion.
We have Richard on the lot on.
No, we just have to accept it.
Oh, great.
So I'll make a motion, we accept the Marion County
Yes.
election ballot results as presented for the May 18, 2021 election.
I will second. Crystal?
We have a motion and a second. Is there discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to Bill.
Aye.
Christie,
Aye.
Crystal,
Aye.
Ricardo,
Aye.
Heidi,
Aye.
and chair votes for. At this point, I'd like to welcome aboard Sarah. We will do oaths of office. They will be post-dated basically, so because your term doesn't start until the 1st of July, but we'll do oaths of office. And then I'd also like to extend a welcome to Richard, who's online, and appreciate your willingness to step up to serve in this capacity. And please plug into what's here, and you'll find that there's a lot of reading and a lot of
Yes.
fact finding to go along with it. Not so much fact finding, but just research and
Right.
keeping up with things. So with that, let's do Richard first, if he has a mic that we can get up.
Richard,
able to
can
hear
you
me
hear
okay?
us?
I can. Can you hear me?
Video on? Yeah, is your video on?
Yeah,
Yes,
you
please.
scroll up.
Now we see it.
Where is he? Oh, come on now.
No, because she's sharing, so it won't go full screen.
Okay, all right.
But we can see him on the side screen. if you get to that. Right.
Gotta go back up. Come on. There you are. Okay, there he is.
All right, repeat after me. I'm assuming with your right hand up.
Put your right hand up. There you go.
I, Richard Goddard,
I, Richard Goddard,
do solemnly affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
do solemnly affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Oregon,
the Constitution of the State of Oregon,
and the laws thereof,
and the laws thereof,
and the policies of the North Marion School District,
and the policies of the North Marion School District.
during my term,
During my term,
I will faithfully and impartially discharge
I will faithfully and impartially discharge
the responsibilities of Office of School Board Member to the best of my ability.
the responsibilities of the office of school board member to the best of my ability.
Congratulations, welcome aboard.
Linda, can you stop sharing for a second? Linda can stop sharing for a second, then we can get a photo up.
There.
And speaker only mode, if you go to speaker only mode, up in the upper right hand corner, or view speaker. All right, there we go. Now we can get a, now we can get a
We're
better.
gonna
photo.
go smile.
If you don't know, this is Jillian Daly. She's our communication.
Nice to meet you.
She's gonna write a story on you.
Congratulations, Richard.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. Great to meet you all.
Congratulations. Look forward to working with you.
Congratulations.
Oh, back here for this. Jeff, do you want to stand up?
Yes.
Sarah Powell,
Sarah Paulson,
do solemnly affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States.
Do solemnly, wait, I need to read it.
That's
I'm
all right.
sorry, is that okay?
Sure.
I have it on my phone. Do solemnly affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
The Constitution of the State of Oregon,
the Constitution of the State of Oregon,
and the laws thereof,
and the laws thereof,
and the policies of the North Marion School District.
and the policies of the North Marion School District
During my term,
during my term.
I will faithfully and impartially discharge the responsibilities
I will faithfully and impartially discharge the responsibilities
of the Office of School Board Member to the best
of the office of school board member to the best of my ability.
of my ability. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
All right, next item on the agenda is adoption of the social studies program for the elementary school.
And I believe Sherry's online.
Okay.
Hi, Sherry.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sherry Stroud, Director of Teaching and Learning. I hope you can hear me all right. Last month, we were here with a recommendation for the secondary level social studies adoption. And tonight we are here for the elementary social studies adoption. And I am joined in the presentation tonight by Allison Hunt, our primary school principal, and Cheryl Dyer, who is the teaching and learning coordinator for this. Okay, we can move on.
Good evening. Oh, which order? Okay, here we go. Things are moving fast on the screen. Hi, everybody. I'm Allison Hunt. I will be the principal next year at the primary school, currently serving as the vice principal. So a couple more weeks for that. We had a great social studies team go through this piloting process with us. We had teachers from kindergarten, first grade, second grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, and special education. And then Sherry also helped us go through the materials, and Cheryl Dyer, who's also on the call with us. We had invited some parents and community members to join us. Schedules didn't always allow for that to happen, but we were thankful that we had some willing participants in the beginning. You can move on now. Thanks.
We followed the same procedures that we did for secondary, same goal of adopting social studies materials that reflect our district demographic and need. The timeline started several years ago, and then we had some interruptions in between. and really with the outcome of the equity lens, using that to come up with a decision for recommendation today. You can go to the next slide. And again, we presented this same information last month with secondary, but we used the equity lens to create a rubric, and you'll see the different areas that the team looked at, came together, and then we had lots of good discussion about different things that we saw in the curriculum.
So as the process continued this this spring, teachers interacted with the materials, and as Cheryl said, they completed the rubric for each of the materials. We ended up looking at News ELA and National Geographic, and the News ELA did not meet our needs for several reasons. And primarily, one big barrier for us was that the materials are not suitable for grades kindergarten through second grade. And so they didn't really meet our needs. And so we did use a process that invited stakeholder input, meaning teachers, parents, and students.
So here we are with the recommendation from the committee, and it is the National Geographic. It's also called Panorama. So if you see that somewhere later on down the road, they are the same program. But we really saw some great engagement with our students when we were piloting the program. You can see we talked about cultural relevance, and so there's a wide representation for our students. There's a lot of vocabulary support. The materials are very visually engaging, colorful, lots of photographs, which is great for, all learners, but especially our elementary students. There were leveled readers with also accelerated lessons. There's a lot of different short stories and books, novel studies, lots of opportunities for conversation and discourse. And the students really enjoyed this one a lot more. There are also supports for our English language learners, and then other accessibilities like read alouds, text to speech features, and then Spanish materials as well. The materials covered the social studies and quite a few of our English language arts state standards. So it's great that those are kind of coupled together. There's a lot of informational writing and then reading comprehension components embedded within the program. And then one of the really great things just on top of as a bonus is that if we're able to adopt this curriculum, we will have a district alignment kindergarten through 8th grade with these materials.
This just represents the budget breakdown for the materials, which will include digital access and printed materials for the classroom. As with the school adoption, the professional development is included in the cost. And then for additional costs, we did request some planning time for our K-5 teachers to use these materials in their unit planning.
So for our next steps, once our recommendation is approved, this summer we'll have that planning time like Sherry just mentioned, so the teachers can work on looking at the standards and these materials and getting things mapped out for the year. During our pre-service time at the end of August, beginning of September, we'll have that teacher training professional development with National Geographic materials. And then in September, we can get rolling using these new materials to teach our social studies standards. So just a big thank you on behalf of our team and students, and we thank the school board for your support. And thanks for hearing our recommendation tonight.
Thank you, Allison. Thank you, Sherry.
I hear ask you say, any more questions?
I would like to have a discussion. I don't know if you want to do that after a motion or before. I don't know what's appropriate.
By procedure, we should
have a motion.
We should probably have a motion.
I'm moving to adopt the social studies curriculum as as presented by the team. I can't remember the name, but the K6 Social Studies team, K5, sorry.
I will second. So I have a motion and a second. So yes, if you have discussion, absolutely. Yes.
I will say that I did review the Panorama materials that were provided to the board, and I thought they were great. I thought they gave a lot of different voices, but they were positive and uplifting to everybody, and that's kind of what I find important. I'm hopeful that we can always be respectful of everybody, but in a unifying, positive manner. There was some, the materials that we were provided as background. So my question is, I wanted to see if we could have a link to these materials available for parents to review, maybe on our website or something, like we were given. They're textbooks, so I think that every parent should be able to look at them if they want, hopefully. And then, so there was some confusion because some of the background materials that we were given as board members from Sherry talk about the standards that have been adopted by the state for social studies and ethnic studies that will go into effect in 2026. There are new studies that they changed in 2018. And so it was kind of confusing. And I talked to some other board members about this. But I wanted to highlight a couple of the, I think this is put out by ODE, the Ethnic Studies Standards FAQs that we were given. So if I could just point out a few things in this. Okay. Well, basically, it's clear that it is up to the local school districts. It is up to us to choose the curriculum and adopt curriculum that we choose to have. There's no state mandated curriculum and there's no state mandated lesson plans. And so I just wanted that kind of publicly stated that we do have a lot of local control over this. And I like that.
I support you in that, Heidi.
Yeah. And so I just, want our community to know that as a district, as a school board, hopefully, we are interested in understanding our curriculum, the curriculum that is taught here at North Marion, and making sure that, that we are all understanding of what is happening. So I also liked the part here that says school districts are free to identify instructional materials to supplement current instructional materials, so like that. And it avoids identifying specific names of people in history. It says, like there are a lot of names who are important in our national history, in our state history, but I'm talking specifically about our local North Marion community history. And I don't know how much we focus on our local history, for instance, or colony, the communal idea that was taught there, and in our Shampooey history, in our Native American history, in migrant history, whatever. There's a lot of things there, and I would just be interested in seeing what I would like to get more information on how much of that we focus on, because I think that that's important. Sometimes I don't think we understand that we have resources in our community. There's a lot of historical information, and I hope that we focus on that. Anyway, that's just kind of what I wanted to say. So one more thing here, hang on. They encourage school districts to involve the community and to make sure that the community has access to what is being taught and resources to give background. And I just want to reinforce that. It's important for people to understand exactly what North Marion is teaching and not to get caught up in maybe outside national issues that really aren't reflective of North Marion as in our community. And and I would also like to encourage parents to be involved and to understand and thank parents when they do step up and help out. That's one of my points. Thank you very much.
All good points, thanks. Any other
May I
discussion?
respond to that?
Yeah, Sherry.
Sure, go ahead.
First of all, thank you. Thank you so much, Heidi, for the discussion. To the point about making the materials available on our website, as we are recreating our district website, I'm so excited that we'd be able to use exemplar districts, how they present this information, and we will definitely do a much better job of making the information available to our community. We did have some parent input based on our, when we reached out to K-5 parents and asked for them to preview materials if they'd like. Some did it online, and at least one parent came in and looked at the materials. But there's much more we could do there. Finally, I just want to say, to your point about the instructional materials, I always talk about the state standards being our curriculum because that is what we're required to teach. And when we do instructional materials adoptions, it's the resources that we want to use those standards. And then, sorry, Heidi, one last thing. Some of the state standards, especially second and the fourth grade, focus a great deal on local community. And so that point is well taken. And I think you could see that once we put the social studies standards on the website for all to see. So thank you again for that discussion. I greatly appreciate those comments and for the school board's interest in curriculum and instructional materials very specifically.
And I'd like to just echo what Heidi said, that I really think that all the information that was shared with the board, including the ODE rubric and all that kind of stuff, is readily available for parents so they can understand the requirements. And parts of those were considered optional, so I'd like to be able to look at what was required versus what was optional in there. The other thing is, I did look at the National Geographic piece and I loved it. It was really, like Heidi said, well written. And I would just also echo her in keeping it a positive teaching style with less divisiveness amongst cultures, in my opinion. So that's all I have.
Christy, do you have anything to add?
No, not right now. Thanks.
Thank you. We saw the motion on the table, so is there more discussion? Hearing none, we'll go to a vote. Bill?
Aye.
Christy?
Aye.
Crystal?
Aye.
Ricardo?
Aye.
Heidi?
Aye.
Chair votes for. And thanks for doing the homework and checking that out as thoroughly, because I know you both.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Sherry.
Oh, can I just chime in? Do we ever go to that stoffer farm that's super cool, or we don't? Oh, okay. Just curious. I saw a candle ad.
We've asked them to expand and they can't get enough volunteers when about 15 or so years ago, North Marion pulled out and it was immediately backfilled with all the districts who want to come and they don't have capacity to add anymore.
That's not true.
That's what they told me when I went.
There,
So
I
Patrick-
know for a fact that they would make room for North Marion.
That's not what Patrick told me.
Okay.
Patrick's
I
not there
just saw
anymore,
an candle dipping and I've never done it. So I was
but
curious.
Patrick said they didn't have enough volunteers to add anymore.
That was for probably that year, but I mean, if you make reservations in advance, they'll make room.
All right.
Okay, moving on to item D. Approval of SIA Chapter 116 Settlement Agreement.
So, for the most part, purely a financial conversation. We didn't discuss contract language and topics. So if you have any questions, let me know. Linda and I'll try to answer. Linda did most of the heavy lifting.
Yeah, okay, so you have a 3% COLA for all members of, you say with with classifications, but there's new classifications, which I don't understand. So like it says classification F, they get an additional 1% on top of the 3%.
As time goes on and people that are not licensed employees, but classified employees in that group have a different skill set. And each one that comes to us doesn't quite fit into the categories that existed before. So occasionally they have a different skill set or a new, some sort of certification that makes them more valuable as an employee, not compared to everyone else, but just because they have a skill that we don't have. For example, our technology staff are very well trained and have lots of experience and keep up on their certifications, and it's a different workload than someone who, and compared to the classification that they were previously in. So you can't just give money to one person in the classifications. You have to decide, is that skill set worthy of a different classification? And then you have that conversation with the association and they agree to create a new classification for employees like that. So, so for employees that moved into that spot, there was an additional increase.
But they still have steps.
Yes. Linda, would you like to add anything to that?
I couldn't hear everything that you said, Ginger, so if I say something that you've already said, I'm sorry. We did comparisons like classifications, like work, and looked at all of the different classifications. And that's where those 3 classifications out of our, I think we have 10, didn't align. We wanted to be sure they were paid average or a little above average of the districts we compared to. And so that's where those classifications got their change. They did not meet the average or a little above. So that's why they received more.
I can, just from an outside perspective, tell you that the technology industry and pay field has moved drastically in the last year.
Yeah.
And so has the maintenance and even food service. I mean, these 3 things are 3 things that even in my healthcare perspective have moved quite a bit.
Yeah.
In the wage.
Yeah, I can see that.
Any other clarifications? Otherwise, are we ready with a motion or is somebody?
Motion to accept.
Yeah, I'll make a motion if I can find it, that we approve the OSEA Chapter 116 Settlement Agreement 2022, Articles 13 and 24 as presented. That might have been lengthy, sorry.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any more discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. Bill?
Aye.
Christie?
Aye.
Crystal?
Aye.
Ricardo?
Aye.
Heidi?
Aye.
Chair votes for. Motion carries.
Thank you, Linda, for the heavy lifting on that. I know that was a lot of.
You're welcome, Heidi. Yeah, negotiations is always a lot of work, but we got it done and we're, both sides are very happy with it.
Oh, how long is that contract for? How long are these articles?
This
How long?
is just for the 21-22 school year. we only had an opener on insurance and wages. So next year, next spring, we will open the whole contract.
Never ends.
Some of us.
Yes.
All right, so we have in the next section 3 resolution items that are action as part of this budget hearing. So I will let you take the lead on this, Linda.
Yeah, I have a couple of things to mention that I want to make sure you know about before you adopt this budget. So as you know, in May, we approved a budget. The proposed budget was approved, and then you're able to make changes if they're under a certain limit. I think it's 10%, if need be, as things go along before it's time to adopt. So there are 2 changes to this. You know that we are have the approval from you guys to do the PERS.
Linda,
Yes,
we have a point of order that's come out.
sure.
About, do we need to announce that this is it says budget hearing. So do we need to make the statement that this is the second budget hearing to meet
The public hearing.
part?
I thought that Glenn said it was a budget hearing, but maybe he didn't.
I'm asking if it was supposed to be a public hearing. There's supposed to be 2 public hearings for every budget adoption. I don't remember whether we.
Oh, are you talking about the statement that needs to be read?
Yeah. As this is a chance for the public to talk to the school board about the budget. Second time. Usually there's 2, but I don't know what it is. I'm asking staff for.
Yeah, Diane, do you have anything on that?
I know what you're talking
We did include a budget comment process at the May 24th meeting. I don't recall we have had 2 in the past because that budget was, the proposed budget was approved.
So if you have budget comment at your proposed budget meeting and there is no need for a second meeting, then you don't have to have public comment again. But there was public comment for this agenda, and if anyone wanted to comment regarding the budget, they certainly could have.
And we had no public comment.
We have no public comments tonight.
All right, thank you.
So the changes are regarding the PERS obligation bonds that the pooled bonds that we're thinking about going into with a bunch of other districts. The unfunded liability number keeps changing every time I get information, not every time, but it has changed quite a bit since the last time they gave us numbers that I presented to you guys. So I moved that up by $300,000, and that's in the other uses in the general fund. So that's why you're seeing the actual resolution to appropriate, to adopt, that amount has gone up. The other change was in the SIA Fund. We got our next allocation. Well, we got our final allocation after the May 19th revenue forecast, and we're getting a little bit more money there, about $47,000, which we're using for one FTE for an IA. So those are the 2 changes within the budget document. Other than that, things have stayed the same. So this 55,464 was 55,100 and something before that you see in Resolution A, in the Part A. So unless you have questions, I think it's ready to be adopted.
I do have a quick question again about that financial loan that they're going to be asking us for at the end of the month. Do we have any money built into this budget to match that from the alternative that we need to have, so we have matching funds?
I'm not sure I understand matching funds, but as I explained in emails, I think. Ginger, are you talking? I can't tell.
No, go ahead, Linda, go ahead.
In our I'm trying to think of the name, Construction Excise Tax Fund. I have that fully allocated. And as I said before, first to be used for roofs, in case the bond can't take care of all of it. And then we would look at using some of it if we did it for this project that's coming up that you'll be talking about the end of the month.
I would add that we're trying to put together the GHR information, the original report, what they found by looking at the report, what's proposed, and what we need to plan for into the future for that to happen. Is it going to happen this year? Not even sure it's going to happen this year. The prices are going up. We're going to have the conversation about it regardless, so that we have a plan in place when it does come up. But it's not just a straight, this is the amount that they're asking for, because they're not sure what they're asking for just yet. So it's hard for us to try to anticipate something that's not nailed to the wall yet. It's just jello. So we have some soft numbers that are given to us. We know what we need to do according to the reports from GHR. So as soon as we have something that's more firm, we can look at it, look at the GHR, run that through the filter, come up with a plan, and then you can decide
So-
on your approval.
If this budget is adopted as presented, then if the roofs get paid for and there's money left, then that money with this approval will be allocated to that project.
I don't know that that's the case, because there's other things that need to be done.
No, Crystal, I think what we're trying to say is what is presented by the team, whoever that team is at the end of the month, is something you guys have to decide on. And if you decide you want to move forward and spend some money, it would be money that is allocated in the construction excise tax.
It would not be out of operations monies. This would be specifically out of excise tax, and that's the distinction. You can't, you can't use.
Yeah, I know
money
there's
intended for
different
operations
buckets, but
Yeah.
I'm uncomfortable knowing that there's a large chunk of money coming, like being presented, which just happened to miss the budget committee by 2 weeks. Our approval. So like they want us to approve this budget. And then at the work session, that's when they all have our information. It just rubs me wrong. Like just be forthright and
Well,
transparent.
we can hold a meeting and cancel the thing, hold a meeting in July. If you rather do it from the board, or you can call a special board meeting. We're gonna meet on the 28th because we're putting all the information together to present it, so that, because you can't just look at a piece of it, you have to look at the.
Right.
And if we're going to do that, we need the time to be able to put that together. There's also checking in with the district has its attorneys looking at it to make sure that the district is doing the right thing. So that all has to be done correctly. So because it's connected to construction excise tax, which is not part of the budget, it's really not part of this conversation. So,
Well, budget is still budget.
well,
So-
yeah,
That's fine.
but yeah. Yeah, I just want to make sure that you all have all of the information that you need when you weigh that choice and how you're going to do that. The baseball field. Yeah, go ahead.
What is the GHR report?
Sent that out in an email to the board to look at. You want me to resend it?
Yeah,
I didn't get that either.
It is.
It's our lawyers. It's
lawyers.
the lawyers audit. It was
Yeah.
the 9, what's it called?
It's the letter, Title IX.
Title
Oh,
9.
I got the letter.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought there was like a secondary report.
If you could send it again though.
I will resend it, yeah, because that's what we have to look at. And what they're saying, we need to address. And
Right.
that's why the board has to look at all the information together at the same
Right.
time. Yeah.
But it is a separate, I mean, it's kind of a whole separate from this. what we're looking at.
Yes,
Yeah, this is our operations budget.
Yeah.
This is a year-to-year.
Yeah.
I see
Well,
it as.
there is extracurricular activity though included in this.
Can I,
And I,
can
you
I
know.
say anything?
Yeah, Linda, go ahead.
I think this budget is the whole budget. This is every fund. This is every amount of money we think we may spend. If we don't appropriate for it, it's hard to spend it. Natural disaster allows you. If you have it in contingency, you can move money over. But we need to appropriate enough money in all the different buckets. As you see on my appropriation page, I think it's page 7. Let me pull it up. So we have buckets. We have the general fund, we have special revenue funds, we have school nutrition fund, debt service fund, capital projects fund. All of those have to be appropriated as buckets. If you don't appropriate enough money in those buckets, you can't spend it. So without doing another process. So we like to be prepared to be able to spend what we believe could or could not happen. For instance, my special revenue funds are very large this year, $8 million. That's because we have ESSER money in there. And like I told you guys at the budget, proposed budget to be approved, I don't have any intention of us spending all of our ESSER dollars. The latest bucket doesn't have to be spent till September of 2024. But we've budgeted to spend it all just in case a big project that we need to get done comes up. We want to do something to do with the cooling towers. We'll be reporting on ESSER dollars at the end of the month also. So when you haven't gone out for the RFP, you don't know what the amount is going to be. You don't want to budget $500,000 when it needs to be 3/4. So I was told by one of the very best auditors in the state when I first started this job, you always budget high if you can. In this case, we can. The same thing with my construction excise tax money. That is over here in the capital funds project. It's under that support services part. We budget to spend it all every year. This year we've spent 0 for 2021. But if a project came up that had to get done, we had an emergency, we would have it appropriated and could spend it. It doesn't mean you will spend it. It means it's there and appropriated to be able to be spent. I don't know if that's helpful or hurtful, but I know there's new board members and I thought it might be helpful that they understood that process.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Just to clarify, so if we have a large dollar amount item that we decide we want to spend money on, that could fall under one of your appropriated categories, that's over 100,000 or whatever amount, that still comes to the board or not?
No, that still needs to come to the board.
Okay, so yeah, so we have at that time, then we can discuss that.
Right.
Yeah.
And where the Title IX comes in is if there's something that's decided to be appropriated that supports a boys' sports program, you have to make a plan for appropriating for the girls' sports program. Doesn't have to be the same year. Doesn't have to be the same budget, but you have to have a plan. And then you have to make sure that that plan is implemented. And that's kind of where we're at. Right. Thank you.
Any other discussion?
Am I allowed to ask a question?
No.
Question,
Okay.
yes.
Just a question.
Sure, go
If
ahead.
the money doesn't get spent on what's allocated, does it just sit there then? Or
Linda, would you like to answer what happens to money that's allocated but not spent?
It's rolled over into next year if the money came in. Sometimes you are estimating, especially in special revenue funds, the amount of money you're going to get. It doesn't always, we don't always get those allocations. We don't always get that amount of money. So sometimes there's money that can be rolled over and sometimes not. We're estimating for school nutrition, the 1.3 with, if we have a strange year like COVID, we won't spend all that, but we may not get all that money in either.
Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. Right, so we need to deal with these motion at a time. And I'm assuming the language has to be very, very spot on.
It has to be there.
Yep.
Go for it, Bill.
What?
Go for it.
All right, I'll do 6A. I'll make a motion, be it resolved that the Board of Directors of the North Marion School District 15 hereby adopts the budget for the fiscal year 2021-2022 in the total amount of $55,464,155, now on file at the district office, 2256 Grim Road, northeast of Aurora, Oregon, 97002.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. Bill?
Aye.
Christie?
Aye.
Crystal?
No, let the record show that it was because of the special project that's being presented in the next quarter. That's going to ask for additional funding.
Ricardo?
Aye.
Heidi?
Aye.
Chair votes for. Motion carries.
Who seconded that motion?
Heidi,
Heidi did.
Thank you.
You want to tackle number B? Right. Action B?
I'll roll them all. I'll make a motion, be it resolved that the amounts for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2021, and for the purposes shown in the budget document are hereby appropriated.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. Bill?
Aye.
Christie?
Aye.
Crystal?
No, let the record show that this is due to a special project that's going to be requested for funding in the next quarter.
Ricardo?
Aye.
Heidi?
Aye.
Chair votes for.
I'll roll it out. I'll make a motion, be it resolved that the budget committee, is that right?
No.
Hold on.
Yes, it is, Bill. They've changed the rules. The budget committee has to do it, so we just do it twice. We have the budget committee and the board impose the taxes.
Roll back 30 seconds and start again. Great. I'll make a motion, be it resolved that the Budget Committee of the North Marion School District 15 hereby imposes the taxes provided for in the approved budget at the district's permanent rate of $3.3333 per 1,000 of assessed value for operations in the amount of $1,979,238 for debt services on general obligation bonds, and that these taxes are hereby imposed and categorized for tax year 2021-2022 upon the assessed value of all taxable property within the district.
Crystal seconds.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. Bill?
Aye.
Christie?
Aye.
Crystal?
Aye.
Ricardo?
Aye.
Heidi?
Aye.
Chair votes for.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Linda. Moving right along, Superintendent District Operations
Yeah.
Report.
well, you was going to do the same shout outs that
Oh,
you
sorry.
did earlier. No, that's
Did I
good.
steal your thunder?
That's good. No, the high school team, fantastic. The staff did an excellent job of helping those kids cross the finish line this year. I've watched some of those kids grow up. I've known them since they were little kids from other places in Connections. And seeing them blossom into young adults that are ready to take on the world has been very uplifting. And it says a lot for this community that it goes through things together and it works hard together and it recognizes when things aren't quite right and will work to fix them. And I love that. And I'm very thankful. We still have some work. You can see by the upcoming topics that we have a lot to do. Our next meeting, we need to honor the time that Bill and Jason have provided to the board. Hopefully we'll be looking at the metrics again. We're still working on that. Sherry's going to share with you the district suicide prevention plan and give you information about that. And there may be an update about ESSER funding from Linda. We'll see what more is available. We'll need to talk about the the timeline for the graduation policies that we decided to put off till next year. And we will spend the majority of the time talking about the Title IX PACE funding request and how that can all work out. So hopefully we'll have all that information. If not, we're going to say this is the information we have and here's what's still unknown, and account for that. If you haven't signed up for the summer board conference, there's some really cool workshops, and and some of them are virtual. I think
They're all virtual.
they're all virtual. We're not going to do any.
Yeah, it's over 2 weekends, and
Okay.
a third weekend for the special workshop.
Right,
You
the
go there
all-
early,
Okay.
a day in the old days.
Yes.
There was 3 weekends,
Okay.
a short time each week.
So that'll be great. And yeah. Okay. So the next meeting is 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks from tonight.
Yep.
28.
Work session.
Oh. I'm camping, but I'll have to join in. I just realized that. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Hotspot,
You find out spot. Yeah.
jetpack.
Yep. Okay.
All right, with that, it is 7:10. I will adjourn the regular part of this meeting, and why don't we take just a couple minutes and we'll get ready for executive session, and we can clear the technical and be ready in just a couple minutes.
Okay. All right.
Were you guys gonna invite Linda to executive or no?